Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, 24th of March,
Yep.
2022. It has been quite a month thus far. So much has happened. We're
Yeah.
almost through with March, and we're yet to see a lot of things that persons have been waiting on,
Yep.
So, good morning. Welcome to FYI. I am
Yep.
Director Finance alongside Shared Record Stick this
Yep.
morning.
Morning. Good morning, peoples.
I
Good
see
morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Miss Guyana 10 is
Yeah,
here
yeah.
with us this
Beat out
morning.
Beatrice Selby this morning.
Yes,
Miss Guyana
Miss
10.
Guyana. Miss,
Where's Beatrice?
well, Miss Guyana saying good morning from England.
Yes.
And oh, she's given her name. Sharon, you take a go at this.
Ayubo Congreves.
Yes,
Ayubo Congreves. Good to see you, Ayubo. I don't know if that made it better. Siobhan McDonald, we see you too.
I see Empress
Fatima Flavors.
exactly.
Wow. Also from the UK, the whole UK in the program this morning.
Well, the UK usually joins us
Yeah.
utilizing YouTube.
Yeah.
So
No doubt Her
yes.
Majesty watching us too. Your
No doubt.
Majesty.
No doubt. Wow.
No doubt, no doubt. But good to have all of you guys. Tessa is here as well on Facebook. Fastbook, the blue app. Tessa Isaacs, Gravesandi. Then we have Claire Alexis. Chomley Richmond is here as well. Stephen Monroe is here too
I
on
like
YouTube.
how you
Sheila
call out
Boychild.
the entire name for Clear.
Yep. I'm accustomed calling it now. Claire Alexis, Chomley
Juliet
Richmond.
Benjamin. Warren is here. Good morning,
Warren from
Warren.
Long Island. How are you enjoying those gas prices, Warren? How are you enjoying those gas prices?
I think Long Island is actually not doing too bad with that.
Yeah. When I went to the pumps yesterday in Long Island, gas was on the 4, Warren. How are you enjoying it? How are you enjoying it? Sandra Peters.
Kylo Tech. Well, Kylo Tech is putting his name in brackets on Calvin Clark. Is here. Good morning to you.
Shout out Calvin.
From New York this morning.
Yeah. Kylo Tech, Calvin Clark.
Yes. So Queens is in the house. I see Miss Thomas there this morning. So Warren is saying below $4. Yep. Correct.
Yep. Enjoy that. Enjoy it.
We're not feeling it here.
But bring some for you come in.
So
bring some guys.
Virginia is in the house this morning. Troy Campbell is with us. I see Carletta Reynolds is with us this morning. I see Leslyn Charles. Where's Leslyn joining us from? I can't remember.
Leslyn, just tell me.
Won't mind your business.
Just tell me, Leslyn. Where are you joining us from? Julian Mars is here as well. Carlotta Reynolds. Marlon King.
Marlon says she love the black. Okay.
Stacy Mattis is here too. Good to have you, Stacy. It's a dark time.
90% of my wardrobe is black. My mother doesn't like it.
Yep. Prince Holder.
Talk about it.
Sirhan Ramsrup. Good to see you, Sirhan Ramsrup. Julian Mars here too.
Prince Holder. Prince probably is the correct name there.
Mm-hmm.
I found a lot of persons going with the name Prince.
Yep. Your Majesties.
A friend of mine actually named his son Boss. Boss. So when you call his name, you gotta walk around saying good morning, boss. It's on his birth certificate.
Fitzgulliver, good to see you too. Fitzgulliver.
Oh my goodness. Way to embed that in his head from young.
Yep. Good to see you. Paul DeAngelo. Good to see you, Paul and Stacy Mattis. Right? Good to see you.
Vanessa De Silva, that's what I'm seeing there.
Kylo Tech, which is, what's the fella's name? Calvin is saying that $400 gas in New Jersey is $800 here.
Oh my goodness. Well,
right? It's $800 here. But it'll be $800 here if you bring it. Transportation costs and all of that. It'll be $800 if you fetch it. Right?
So Vashni Magnot is saying that she loves us. You see, we love you too.
Yeah.
We love you too over there. We're sharing love. I see Sweetness Ballers is in the house joining us. Also, we see Mark Dover is joining us from Mahika, East Coast Demerara. I see Sherry Greenwich is watching from Barbados. And guys, as you know, I encourage everyone to make sure that you just say where you're joining from. Let everyone be able to put those location pins down.
Yes.
Where we're going.
Yeah. Then see, that's why we say we have an international program.
Yes.
Because you guys join us from all over the world.
Most definitely.
All over the world. We're so happy. We're so happy. The only thing that got to match now is the shares. You got to share the live stream, smash the emoji button. Clarissa Seprio is here. I always love that name, Clarissa, for some reason.
Clarissa.
Yeah, I don't know if
it has a ring to it.
Yeah, it has a certain ring. Clarissa. I think that was one of the main characters in Silence of the Lambs, but that's another story by itself.
Oh my goodness.
But it's a lovely name.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Prince, right? Stefan Lucas is here as well. Lucas is not a nice name. People use Lucas a lot as a first name.
Oh my God, I had a student by the name of Lucas. He was the most miserable.
Most Lucas are there.
God is busy.
Nandi Melissa Lewis, good to see you. Good to see you, Nandi, and Whitney Bias. Good to see you, Pauline Tag. Good to see you guys. Chiselle Chipper, 68. Good to see you.
Dawn Cook says she's going to be leaving us in a bit. She has to go on the road and do something. Well,
hold on. Guys, somebody's giving us a gas price there in Queens. Just up a little bit. And saying gas in up a little bit. It's right there. Right there. Chiselle is saying $4.35 for gas in Queens. And hold on. Where you going? $4.35 is a good price. That's what Chiselle is saying in Queens.
Yes.
So Warren, you enjoy your under $4 in
Long Island.
In Long Island, because in Queens it's $4.35.
Oh wow!
So enjoy. Or maybe the folks in Queens want to drive down to Long. You go down and buy a gas and little to drive in there though.
Yeah.
And buy a gas.
A little bit.
Yeah. That being said, good to see Pops. Robert Archer.
Oh, yes.
Niagara Falls boss. Niagara Falls boss is with us this morning.
You know, we need to know what you've been doing there. I want to get into this particular business because he joins every day from Niagara Falls.
Probably the area. The general area.
That's what I'm guessing.
He's not by, or maybe he works by the falls. Who knows?
Yeah.
Tell us some more. Pops, tell us some more.
So Warren is saying $3.99. So you see, Warren, you enjoy there.
Yep. And Mark DeCosta is saying it's time now for Fireside. Time now for Fireside. Guys, go up just a little bit. Some this is confirming that it's $4.35 in Brooklyn, New York, right there. Stephen Monroe, Sheila Boy Child, saying it's $4.35 in Queens. So it's Queens, Brooklyn. Well, gas nice in Long Island, apparently.
Yes.
Apparently, Long Island is the place to be for your gas. You're cooking with gas in Long Island. Everything else is Fireside.
By the time you get from Queens to Long Island to enjoy that difference, you drive out the difference.
You're going for the scenery. You're going for the scenery. It's time to visit your friends and family in Long Island, folks. Time for a visit. Muriel Jones, good to see you there, watching us from the USA. Good to see you, Muriel, Tanya Cummins, and all the other fantastic, beautiful folks. Share.
What Sharon is saying, everything that he's
smash that emoji. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. What are you guys having for breakfast, that being said, besides gas? Besides the gas. And you know, the folks who are watching us from home, we're going to be tracking these gas prices. We're going to be tracking them. And we want to invite you guys. You pull into a gas station, take a snap there of the gas prices, and send it to us. You know our WhatsApp number. We got one number we use all the time. WhatsApp or directly. You can WhatsApp us that. 627-6963, especially the folks home here in Ghana. Pull in the gas station to pick up some gas. Send us a shot of those gas prices. We want to keep a track on how they're going.
Well, we have been receiving some of those. I know people are most interested in the price and the difference that they are hoping to see. But I know from this morning the prices it is what it is. I think there was no change. Guy oil at $2.45, Rubis at $2.44, Shell at $2.49. There was no change, and no indication that the change is coming anytime.
Yep. So go back through them. So what were the prices?
No, we're checking in. Like we do our homework. We make sure we get the information for you. So this morning here in Guyana, we have Guy oil at $2.45. We have Rubis at $2.44 and Shell at $2.49. And this is the price of gasoline as of this morning.
So from the announcement yesterday, there's been no change, what was he saying?
Well, there have been no change. And persons at those pump stations are saying that there have been no indication to them that there will be any change as of this morning. So
Hold on.
Sharon is getting that whole different discussion.
Hold on. Hold on, people. Hold on. So you tell me there was a big announcement yesterday Right? I don't even know if this is on the trend.
Yeah, it has to be.
It's on the trend.
That's our
but we started trend. So them boys announced yesterday that they have reduced it by 50%.
Well, that by itself is a different discussion.
From 50%, this is what Mr. Jagdew said on his Facebook page.
Well, that is
from 50% to zero. But we know that's a lie.
Propaganda.
Right? That's propaganda. He's Goebbels or Goebbels or however you pronounce it. The mastermind who was Hitler PR guy. He's the person.
Oh my!
So
you know your history.
He is saying on his Facebook page that they've brought it from 50, right, to zero.
Yesterday, okay.
Yesterday.
Okay.
But interesting enough, we do homework.
Oh, of course.
We do homework. So we went back through, our mind took us back to Ashley Singh's budget presentation.
Yeah.
And strange enough, it was 20%.
And they took it to 10.
And they took it to 10.
And the gas went down by how much?
And the gas...
It went down by nothing.
Because I think I saw yesterday, I don't know, I may remember, I think I saw yesterday 246. And if you're saying it's 245, or is it 245 and so on?
Where did you see 246? Where?
I may have seen that somewhere, but you're saying there have been no change since this announcement. So clearly, the service, people not listening to the administration.
No, there have been no change. There have been no change.
Right, and we've been checking, folks. We've been literally checking the gas station. Because we know how much this matter, cuts across the divide in this country. Lots of people own vehicles, whether you're AFC, whether you're PPP, you own vehicles. Right? And we all go to the same gas stations. Right? I don't think we're going to ask, is this a PP gas station or a PNC or who? If the gas price nice, we gone. If Long Island gas price nice, we gone.
That's where we'll be.
Right? I want to go Long Island. Warren, this long time I got the invitation. As a matter of fact, listen, I was in Long Island once. And a friend of mine, a dear friend, took me to a fantastic Chinese eatery restaurant in Long Island. Fantastic. It's a long time I got the invitation. Just putting that out there.
Listen,
in the universe.
Warren, this is to you. This is to you directly.
I just put it out there. It's a long time. And, we plan to take this show on the road. And Long Island seems, basically, in fact, we have a lot of driving to do. Long Island seems to be the place to get the good gas. So we want to know here too, locally, where are the places that got good gas? You pull into a gas station in Guyana, take a snap of the gas price there, send it to us on our WhatsApp number, 627-6963, and so we can keep track. So our economists, and we've been checking before the program started, we've been making our calls, that the gas price hasn't changed. Big headlines yesterday, right? But nobody listening, apparently.
Yeah, well.
They ain't get the memo officially.
Someone is saying Gulliver is saying that they paid 246. Where?
Where Fitz?
246. That's interesting. But I'm saying that these prices that I'm giving is the prices that was given this morning. These particular prices. Strangely
enough, I just go to the gas station and said, please 10,000.
Oh my goodness! So you don't be surprised when the time it takes to put in the 10,000 keeps.
That is what things. The last time I look at the thing, I realized the needle and gone. When I look back at the meter, I realized I get my gas, but the needle is stubborn. The needle is not where it's supposed to be. Usually, so I've been paying keen attention now at 246, right? As a matter of fact, last weekend I pulled out my cycle. I took it to get it service.
The one that you went to Parliament with?
Yes, I took it to get it service.
Okay.
Because apparently I got to pull it out some more. So that means that we're going to keep tracking with the prices, and our resident economists telling us there have been no change since the announcement yesterday. Folks, share at Mahika. Is it KK?
And was that this morning, more importantly?
Yeah, so tell us that. Whether it's at KK gas station at Mahika, you got it at 246, or it was someplace else.
I'll be checking in with the more remote locations as they progress.
Yeah, to see how it's going. We're going to keep tracking it, guys, because we want to share the information with you. And so and this is an area in which we are going. All right? Naomi says, I'm buying $10,000 gas. Naomi, that is little under week driving. The runs we got to do in this city here. Little under week driving. So you fill the tank and you hope it gets you from, let's say Sunday to Sunday. But
$10,000
now
is not full in your tank.
it ain't fully tank now. No.
Exactly.
Use the fully tank. Now everyone say we live in a good life. We trying. Vanessa, the silver we're seeing you here, right? And Vanessa says, I watched a taxi driver yesterday put 5,000 in and the needle in ship. He needle stubborn too. You see these stubborn gas needles? He needle stubborn too. Again, folks, you go into a gas station, snap a pic of the gas prices. We really want to keep track because we know how much you guys can benefit from that information. Commodities too. You go into the marketplace, you see the prices looking a little different. Send us that.
No, actually, the list the persons get you get the bill from your when you do grocery shopping, and so if you can snap a picture of that bill, send it through the various supermarkets and so.
Because one of the things we want to do is to let you know where the deals are happening, where the bargains are happening, and so you can be able to spend the little money that you have wisely. And we think that we can help in that area, and we are happy to do the public service for you.
Most definitely.
Yep. That being said, we are ready for it, guys. And folks, we hope you are watching the bridge report here because we're seeing the bridge got some opening and closing times. And you don't wonder by the bridge idling on AC now at all.
Which AC?
Right? Based on the gas prices, you don't wonder by the bridge long idling. So you might want to stay in the office longer. But then them boys saying now, don't use the AC.
I was just about to tell you that.
Right? What you all vote for, man?
No, actually, I think you should. I want Cher to actually repeat that for persons that are not updated with that bit of it.
Yeah, so yesterday, the government, through its agency, GPL, issued a statement that you have to conserve electricity because they said the demand now for electricity is so high based on the fact that lots of people are using their air conditioners. So they would advise you not to use it. Don't use your AC.
Don't use a car, use a bicycle. That's coming next.
That's what's coming next for truth. Don't use your car, right?
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, that's not a bad thing, for the environment and for health and all of that. But it has to be something by choice, not by necessity.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So that's the something y'all vote for. You have a good life, but you don't know it. You don't know it.
Naomi says, Sure, I know 10,000 getting you nowhere by.
No, it's true. It's true. That needle them budge. Needle watching me. But guys, we want to let you know where the deals are happening. We want to let you know where you can get a good value for your money. So snap us those pics. Send us a pic of your bill. Send us a pic of something in the supermarket. You might see the price go up. Send us a pic of that, the price. And then if you go in the gas station, take a pic of the cost. The gas prices there, and send us a pic so we can keep track and keep you guys updated. That's how we know, because we've been tracking it, that the price hasn't budged since yesterday, because maybe the stations haven't gotten the official correspondences.
I think Faisal is upsetting people in the comments.
Faisal? Who's Faisal?
This morning.
Jaffarali?
I don't know.
February 26th?
I'm not sure.
Same Faisal. Sure. But good to see you, Melissa Mona, Diane Fordyce, and Yulandia Thomas, Nicola Daniel, Maureen Carpin Williams. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Share the live stream and let's get on with it.
Most definitely.
Everybody, y'all in here, Barbie, let's get 10,000 jobs.
Are we there yet?
Me get 10,000 jobs out again. Hold on. Y'all in hear that? When Mia was here, folks, for the International Expo, Energy Expo and Conference and Expo, Mia left with 10,000 jobs.
But who announced this?
Right? Nobody talking to us.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Right? And that's one of the problems we say we have in this cooperative oil producing republic. There are no post-cabinet briefings. Right? And then when you see the president, he coming to abuse you down.
Yes, exactly.
He coming to abuse out.
We're yet to hear the deals that was made at that
right? He's been taught so well by Jack. He coming to abuse out. And as Ruthie said, we hear what come out of this International Energy Conference and Expo.
I think, yes, we've been talking around it and all of that. We've been speaking to it, but I think it is a grave issue that we haven't addressed adequately as yet, because it is impossible to have an international energy conference and expo held in your country, and then for the country not to be briefed as this is what came out of it. This was the deals that were signed on to, and so on and so forth, because that's what we're talking about right now. You know, conversations being had outside of the boundaries of Guyana about what came out of this, things that we have to hear about. And we've mentioned it when Mia Motley did her briefing to Barbados when she returned home, and she was saying this is what this is what transpired, and this is what Barbados is going to benefit from it. But we are yet to hear from the leadership in Guyana what was done, what was
what
said.
we gave away, what concession.
Basically.
But we've learning this morning from credible sources that Mia Motley got 10,000 jobs for Barbados, and we can get to that in a second. But I think we're on the trend, guys, and we are in international news. And that's what we're picking up. That Mia Motley, folks, you better share the live stream. You better smash that emoji button. Got 10,000 jobs. Mia Motley of Barbados. It was a big issue. Naomi saying Mia's a hustler. Irfan so slow. By the time he realized Mia done tricky and gone. But I think that's what happened. And we're picking this up from, we always get the news from overseas. The people overseas know what's happening here faster than we do. And this was a big discussion in the Parliament of Trinidad that Mia Motley got 10,000 jobs out of Guyana. Well, I can understand why, they're so tight. This government is tight-lipped about every single thing. The company that now sells our oil on the international market, that Saudi company, it was contracted to sell 1 lift of oil. Now they've gone ahead. They now got the full contract. Aramco is the name of the company.
Yes.
We don't know anything about the deal because our government, the installed regime, and your government don't believe that Guyanese should know what are the final details of the deal. All we know, Aramco is the company that markets our oil.
But because they're not interested in transparency. Transparency is something that they detest, if we're to be honest. And we have seen this over the years, 23 years of no transparency. They're back in office now, and transparency is like a foreign language to them.
Installed in office.
So they don't want the transparency, because if persons are aware of the details of these transactions, then everyone will be critiquing it. And the constructive criticism, you see how they handle criticism.
Yes.
So to have no criticism, constructive they are, to have none of that, they just don't bring the details forward. So there's no transparency altogether to shield them from the critique that the experts are going to come in and give.
Yeah. So what we're hearing out of the Trinidadian Parliament is that 10,000 jobs were given to Mia Motley. Did we have the graphic, guys? 10,000 jobs was given to Mia Motley on the international.
Yep.
It's watching me. But here's some of the footage out of that exchange when that news was given to the Trinidadian Parliament about 10,000 jobs being given to Mia Motley.
Rowley basically wasn't having it.
Yeah, Rowley wasn't having it.
Rowley was not having it at all. So when we're looking at all that is going on there.
Yeah. Finally. So again, Rowley wasn't having it, right? And so the question was posed, Rowley, you went somewhere around the world. Why weren't you in Guyana like Mia getting 10,000 jobs? Rowley looks sharp here, though. I'll give you that.
He always looks sharp.
Rowley looks sharp here. I love a blue suit. Rowley look real sharp here. P&M looking real sharp. That being said, folks, again, the issue came up in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. Why is it that Mia got 10,000 jobs out of Guyana and Rowley didn't get anything much? And Rowley had a response for that.
Classic.
Prime Minister, in terms of measurability, Mia Motley left Guyana with 10,000 jobs. Would it not have been better to go to Guyana than to go to Qatar?
What do you have in Guyana? Why you don't go to Guyana if you want to be in Guyana? As a member of Parliament in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, you always talk about Guyana and Barbados. If you're unhappy here, you're free to go. Nobody has tied you here. Don't come and talk to me about Mia Motley. I am the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and I speak for Trinidad and Tobago, and I look after Trinidad and Tobago's interests. And if you have interest in Madam Speaker, what is offensive about this? This is the member who disgraced us in New York. You are the only member of any government.
Prime Minister.
The only member of any government that met with...
Order! Speaker is on her left. What do you think it is?
Yeah, you're not chairing Balizé House General Council meeting.
Yep. Order. 10,000 jobs. Why didn't we know this?
Oh my goodness.
Mayor got 10,000 jobs for Barbadians. Right? And then we heard recently they bring in the black belly sheep and all of that.
What was interesting is that in Rowley's response, he didn't refute that.
No, so
He
clearly
didn't refute it.
the Trinidadians know something we don't know.
Yeah.
Clearly the Trinidadians know something we do not know. That Mia got 10,000 jobs out of earphone. Guys, it may have gone back. Some people probably now catching themselves. Let's run the track one more time. Wheel and come again.
Prime Minister, in terms of measurability, Mia Motley left Guyana with 10,000 jobs. Would it not have been better to go to Guyana than to go to Qatar?
What do you have in Guyana? Why you don't go to Guyana if you want to be in Guyana? As a member of Parliament in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, you're always talking about Guyana and Barbados. If you're unhappy here, you're free to go. Nobody has tied you here. Don't come and talk to me about me and Motley. I am the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I speak for Trinidad and Tobago, and I look after Trinidad and Tobago's interests. And if you have interest in Madam Speaker, what is offensive about this? This is the member.
Pace and power, holy. Pace and power. But 10,000 jobs. I don't want to hold on. I don't want to pretend I didn't just hear that. That Mia got 10,000 jobs out the air from them. Like when are we gonna know this?
At this point, I would advise that, given that is just not chatter, that is in the Parliament, that is in the handset of the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. And the least that we would expect at this point, right now, after those statements were made, that the administration come and give clarity to that particular statement, because you cannot have in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago a statement being made that Mayor Motley came to Guyana and left with 10,000 jobs. And what is the Finale administration saying about that?
I know you were pointing out on our podcast yesterday the youth unemployment rate. And if we got a lot of people, and a lot of folks have been fired by the PAP government too when they assumed office, when they were installed into office. So we could see perhaps that's when they were making space for the 10,000 Barbadian jobs. Maybe that was part of the rationale there.
Well, we can't speak to it because, and there's so much, because that particular rate for the youth unemployment is at 31.9%, and that was as the last report that is up with the Bureau of Statistics, and that's the third quarter report of 2021. They haven't gotten the final as yet. But what I want to say about the fact that they are not transparent is that when these statements are left so loose, we have to assume the absolute worst based on their track record. We have to assume the absolute worst, that these people are going out and they're doing things that benefit themselves.
They're making deals that we don't know about.
And the people of this country are suffering. And if it is not that case, I let them come out and say that. Let them come out and give clarity, but they're not going to do that. Simply because giving clarity would actually, it would have to come through a process that is somewhat transparent. And they detest transparency. So they're not going to do that for anyone to see, because the critique that is going to come from the process. Like, how do you get there to that point that 10,000 jobs to Barbados? How do you get there?
And again, as you said, Jarita, Dr. Keith Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, didn't seem very surprised at all. I don't know. I would assume that Caribbean leaders got a chat group on WhatsApp. And I could see me saying, Rowley, bye, when Guyana, and I get out 10,000 jobs. How you looking? How you looking?
Oh my goodness!
Right? I could see that he didn't seem surprised at all by it, folks. I mean, some of you might be now joining the broadcast.
So, it's a SN Duke is saying an 800 part-time in region 2. What will happen when the part-time cannot work?
Yep. And we were promised jobs, right? I'm telling you, people are out of work right here every day. You run into people who say they're looking for work. So I want to know, is this payback? Because you guys know, it's no secret. There is a large percentage of this population who feel that Mia helped to install ear from them in office. And so that is what is happening now. This whole cozy, chummy relationship with Mia and Earphone is payback for what happened during the elections with the help that the PP got. So it will be, and we're seeing payback on a number of fronts with the projects people are getting, the contracts people are getting in the private sector. So is this payback again for those of you who are joining us in the Trinidadian Parliament? They're saying that Mia got 10,000 jobs out of air fund. For those who may have no joined, I think it's worth us looking at that again.
I think we should. I think we should look
10,000
at it.
jobs.
A lot's coming out of that piece of footage that just
You got to unpack that.
Let us speak of it.
Prime Minister, in terms of measurability, Mia Motley left Guyana with 10,000 jobs. Would it not have been better to go to Guyana than to go to Qatar?
What do you have in Guyana? Why you don't go to Guyana if you want to be in Guyana? As a member of Parliament in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, you're always talking about Guyana and Barbados. If you're unhappy here, you're free to go. Nobody has tied you here. Don't come and talk to me about Mia Motley. I am the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and I speak for Trinidad and Tobago, and I look after Trinidad and Tobago's interests. And if you have interest in Madam Speaker, what is offensive about this? This is the member who disgraced us in New York.
Prime Minister.
You are the only member of any government.
Prime Minister.
The only member of any government that met with.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting that you got a lot of folks out of work here. You know, things hard, things tight. People don't mind being employed, but work's scarce.
Yeah.
And here are the Barbadians being given 10,000 jobs. You know
But
what's interesting? Yeah.
What I wanted to make note of is the fact that we just had what he's referring to is the fact that Mia Motley was here during the International Energy Conference and Expo. And what is interesting is that Trinidad and Tobago was not a part of that, and Rowley was not invited to be a part of that forum. Given all their history with oil and gas and all of that, they were not here. They were not represented here. So there's a lot going on between Guyana and Trinidad, and it begs the question as to the relationship between the two countries and how it translates further. We see the divide of the lack of inclusivity when it comes to the government of Guyana and the opposition. And everyone that knows the situation would know that the PPP administration, they are very cozy with the current opposition in Trinidad, and it shows the level to which they go to when they want to cut off and segregate. And this is a dispute now between two nations.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, while he was in the Pomeroon recently, Mr. Jackson had some very choice words for Trinidad.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
talking about how
yes.
The country is run down and the management and leadership of the country is poor and bad and a whole host of things. I was quite surprised by that. He said, you want to become like Trinidad, the run down and the leadership is bad.
Basically.
It's quite sad.
So
to see what's happening.
that just goes to concrete what I'm saying, the relationship between the two countries. Trinidad is a neighbor to Guyana, that we have had cordial relations, and here we have the PPP seemingly trying to destroy that relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. So that is something that is we need to be monitoring, and I heard Rowley's tone in all of that, because apparently he's frustrated over that, over those actions altogether.
Yeah, I just hope that sooner rather than later we get clarity on what exactly did Mia Motley got from Air Fund and why. Why is that? What exactly? And we're still waiting to hear who got what out of this international conference and expo. And that's one of the trouble we have here, information. And all the independent people, bodies and so on, are crying out, whether it's in the oil and gas sector or otherwise. This government don't like to give information. Yeah. They don't like transparency. They don't like good governance. They don't like open structures at all. And that is why we're now hearing from the Trinidadians. The same way, it was from the Trinidadians we heard that we had Delta here.
Yes.
Because they tested a passenger who had left here and gone there. And that's how we knew we had Delta here definitively. And then months later, we did our testing, and then Frank come back and said, I suspect that we have it here. And it was the Trinidadians also who said, who told the parliament that the Sputnik V that we had here was not approved by WHO. And we know that they were upset with the Trinidadians for that. Maybe that's why they give 10,000 jobs to Mia Motley, despite Trinidad.
Yeah, but I want to say the fact that that Trinidad wasn't represented here. It just goes to show.
Yes.
It goes to show the animosity.
It's not that Trinidad wasn't represented. Trinidad was ostracized from the oil and gas conference.
But even with I'm not going to speculate as to the if any conversations were had between the Guyana government and Trinidad and Tobago, but I'm saying that the animosity and the comments that you just referred to that is coming out of Bar Jagdeo just goes to show the relationship as it is and how bitter it is right now.
No, the Guyana government made a decision not to invite Trinidad to the Energy Conference and Expo. They made a decision not to invite them, and now you're seeing all of this. Because again, Trinidad in the recent past, in the interest of transparency, said this is why they weren't going with Sputnik V. They said because it was not approved by WHO. The Sputnik V that went to Guyana was not approved by the WHO and still hasn't been. And even now, as a matter of fact, recently because of the conflict in Russia, that's where Sputnik V is produced, the WHO says they're suspending their review of Sputnik V in light of as part of the sanctions on Russia and all of that.
Wow.
Right? And Rowley was right since then that it really and truly was factual that the thing was not approved. He went on to say they're not going to be buying drugs from all kinds of middlemen and shady characters. Remember Sheikh Dalmood Al Maktoum, the shady sheikh? You all remember him? So Rowley said that they were not going to buy drugs from anybody who had no history of selling drugs and who perhaps were on drugs and double the cost too. And double the cost. And then we had some other issues with the Delta and so on. And so we're coming down the line now. They were not invited to the Energy Conference and Expo. Here is Jagdeo Till in Pomeroon talking about how Trinidad, because a question was posed, look what happened in Trinidad, something. And then Jagdeo waded in. Look how this place run down, and they managing themselves well, and the oil and gas sector failing, and all that. But I don't think we're doing such a good job here. Because for instance, we ain't institute the Petroleum Commission yet, right? We ain't institute the Local Content Commission yet, and the NRF unoperationalized yet. So don't let me go crossing down Trinidad just yet.
Yep, exactly.
Right? But these 10,000 jobs, I ain't want to pretend that I didn't hear that.
But again, I'm going to say that when it comes to the source of that bit of information, the source is what it carries a heavy weight in, because this is something that was said in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. It is within their official records. Their Hansard will reflect that MP got
10,000 jobs.
That 10,000, that Mayor Motley left Guyana with 10,000 jobs. And the least that we would expect is for the administration here to come and give clarity to that statement and to basically, and if they don't give clarity, we are going to be left to assume that it is correct.
Yeah, and you know what? What you said is even so important, because it's no secret that the opposition leader, who was the former prime minister in Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, is chummy with Jagdeo and Ear from them.
I'm not going to pretend.
There is no secret. So if they're saying that Mia got 10,000 jobs out of Ear Fund,
that's what I'm saying.
If they're saying Mia got 10,000, there's a saying, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. If they're saying so, believe them. Right? Believe them, 10,000 jobs. And for folks who are now joining us, we're discussing how we just learned from the Trinidadian Parliament that Mia Motley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, got 10,000 jobs for her citizens.
Out of
Guyana. And for those who know joining us, take another look at that. Take another look at what happened there.
Prime Minister, in terms of measurability, Mia Motley left Guyana with 10,000 jobs. Would it not have been better to go to Guyana than to go to Qatar?
What do you have in Guyana? Why don't you go to Guyana if you want to be in Guyana? As a member of Parliament in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, you're always talking about Guyana and Barbados. If you're unhappy here, you're free to go. Nobody has tied you here. Don't come and talk to me about me and Motley. I am the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and I speak for Trinidad and Tobago, and I look after Trinidad and Tobago's interests. And if you have interest in Madam Speaker, what is offensive about this? This is the member who disgraced us in New York.
Prime Minister.
You are the only member of any government.
Prime Minister.
The only member of any government that met with...
Order!
Speaker is on her legs. What do you think of the House?
Yeah, he's not sharing Balizeo House.
Order. Don't tell me about Mia Motley. That's what Keith Rowley said there. Don't tell me about Mia Martley. I am the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and I am looking after its interests. Love that. Love that. Don't tell me about Mia Martley.
Well,
Interesting. 10,000 jobs for Barbados.
I just want to highlight this in the comments. I just read one of the comments, and it's correct. If persons would recall, and Commissioner Cole is saying there in the comments that the Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa says concrete plans to import sheep from Barbados and construct a new food terminal on that island are part of efforts to create a new regional brand and boost food security efforts. Mustafa spent the past few days in Barbados assessing the linkages that can be created or depend between the two countries to boost the Caribbean's food security, right? And that I think that came off of the newsroom, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so those are the things that are ongoing there. So when you hear the comment again coming out from the opposition in Trinidad and Tobago, in the National Assembly, the comment being made about 10,000 jobs. And again, we want to reinforce the fact that the PPP administration has always been very friendly to the current opposition in Trinidad and Tobago. So when you hear the comment coming from the opposition, it comes with a different level of weighting. And the fact that it's been said in the National Assembly also adds more weight to that statement altogether. And the government of Guyana needs to respond to the citizens of Guyana as to what is going on there.
Yep. Interesting times, folks. While you're catching your tail, hard times bracing we. Things tight. 10,000 jobs. Thank you for that. But on to the trend. More on the trend, folk. What else is on the trend?
Well, we have a lot being said here this morning, but one of the things I want to go past some stuff, but I don't want to miss some important news. One of the things that we have been speaking about, we have been saying on the FYI program how we encourage persons and young people to be a part of sports altogether. Make sure that you go out there and that you're active, do everything possible to get yourself involved. But then we're seeing a letter to the editor. It says female volleyball players were bullied.
That's in the morning papers. Yeah. That's in the morning papers today.
Right.
So
So that is something that definitely a piece of read that you should go and have. And
and that's one of the things in the morning papers, folks, that these young ladies said
Correct.
they were qualifying for this this competition, and the males wanted to come and practice, and they were basically their game was shut down. And they were put out of the National Sports Hall, all because the men wanted to come and practice. Right? And this is in the month where we're honoring women. And so they didn't take lightly to that at all. I saw this circulating on social media. We would have spoken about it in our other programs, but it's back in the morning papers in a letter to the editor that these young ladies were treated very, very, very unfairly where that is concerned. As a matter of fact, the headline there, the header for the letter is female volleyball players were bullied out of the national stadium, out of the National Sports Hall. As a matter of fact, in the Facebook post by somebody that we had featured, they said that they had gotten that instruction came from Charles Ramson. His name was mentioned in that post on social media, that the order came from him to get the young ladies out of the National Sports Hall.
Well, you're not PvP and females, so that speaks a lot there. But as we go further into the morning trend, one of the things that we're looking at on the international front is the situation that continues between Russia and Ukraine, the war that continues there rather. And it says Zelensky is calling for protests to mark 1 month of war, and that is what we're looking at. And guys, as we know that, but person that don't know, NATO leaders will be gathering for an emergency summit in Brussels, which U.S. President Joe Biden is attending, and the alliance will approve major increases of forces in Eastern Europe at the summit. Its Secretary General would have announced over the past day or so. So we're looking at it, but as it unfolds, Zelensky is calling for protests, and he's calling for widespread protests throughout the world in support of Ukraine, and he's saying that is to mark the 1 month that the war has been ongoing in Ukraine.
I know it's important to hear him say it's only a month, because the regime here wants to tell us that all our problems with high cost of living is because of the war in Ukraine, and that's what caused everything to go up. But we know we're in this struggle longer than a month. We know that we're in it longer, but it seems like a long time the war in Ukraine is happening, but it's just a month. but the prices have been steadily increasing. We're talking about the price of oil long before the war in Ukraine. You all remember that?
But most definitely. But as we are on that front, the next bit of news we're following is that NATO warns of the chemical attack threat. NATO is warning about the chemical attack threat, and this is very worrying altogether. And the world, I guess, is concerned about this. And it says alliance meets in Brussels. Chief Jens says any use of chemical weapons would have widespread consequences. And again, all eyes on NATO as though those discussions will be unfolding, and everyone is looking to see what decisions will be made, and if any of the decisions that will be made would be actually beneficial to Ukraine to stop that war that is going on in Ukraine at the moment.
Yep.
Because a lot could be said, and actually the war can still continue.
True.
I don't want to.
True. We are going to keep following that. But locally, folks, lots happening locally, as you know, besides 10,000 jobs going to the Barbadians, lots happening locally. We're beginning to understand that the US-based Guyanese is opening a merchant bank here. Money got for MEC, money got to MEC, and so this merchant bank, he's been granted license for this merchant bank, and respect and manners. We're gonna keep you guys posted as to how this goes. But he believes that a lot of small businesses could tap into this and get loans and so on to boost their businesses and so forth. And so the merchant bank, Mr. Floyd Haynes was granted a license to open a merchant bank, and he has quite a history in this field, in the finance field. And so good for you.
I want to make the point also that announcement actually came out of the outreach in Essequibo, but this is not information that was given
again
at a press conference.
Yeah, post cabinet briefing.
This is information that came out of.
Thank God for the outreach, because we never
announcement yesterday in region number 2. That's where we learned of this development.
Yeah.
All the secrecy is just most ridiculous, and it needs to get better, because persons we can't survive in a country, Guyana. You say that Guyana is such a big player, evolving big player in oil and gas and all of that. And when it comes to the US-based Guyanese being granted a license for a merchant bank, you have to hear it in some school location among a couple of people. That announcement is being made, as opposed to the government actually doing a press conference and detailing what will be happening here. So I'm
still very struck that it isn't Irfan Ali who goes on these outreaches and make these announcements. Every time Irfan is overseas, Jagdio hugs the limelight and makes a whole host of announcements. Always.
That is planned. That seems strategic, to make sure that Irfan doesn't go and mess up these.
Right. Or to undermine Irfan. One of the two. That being said, additionally to that, GRA and the GEA, the Ghana Energy Agency, the Ghana Revenue Authority, they've both been ordered to reinstate the licenses for Atlantic Fuel. Now, this was a piece of victimization by the administration, because Dr. Richard Van Charles has some interest in this company, Atlantic Fuels, and it was part of the government's wickedness, vindictiveness, vengefulness, that they tried to undermine what was happening, the blossoming of this company. And the Chief Justice had said in a initial case that the fuel that they had seized from Atlantic Fuel was done so illegally.
Correct.
And now we're seeing it back in the news again.
Well, actually, it says that the High Court judge Franklin Holder has ordered that the Guyana Revenue Authority and the Guyana Energy Agency to reinstate license Atlantic Fuel Inc. to allow its continued importation and trade of fuel. And the article goes on to say that the judge ruled that the GEA Chief Executive Officer Mahendra Sharma did not have the power of a court to determine that the Atlantic Fuel was guilty of breach of regulation.
Exactly. It's part of victimization. Again, they don't like you, they don't like your politics, they come after you.
They assume what your politics is.
They assume what your politics is. And then they come after you. And so Atlantic Fuel wasn't having it. Chief Justice said the fuel was seized illegally, and now the court is saying they have to reinstitute the licenses for Atlantic Fuel. It's only some people must own business in this country, though. It's only some people must move forward, and that is why we've been turning on its head this whole notion that I have, this concept of one Guyana, because it's farce. It's foolishness. We already have a motto: one people, one nation, one destiny, and we love it. We love it. If you have another motto, go somewhere else, Country Rowley. Go somewhere else if you want another motto. We motto: one people, one nation, one destiny, and they were being vindictive in going after Atlantic Fuel because it's not their people.
Correct.
It's only their people must own oil company and stuff. Right? That's the one Guyana we have. Right? It's one set of people must own oil company and import fuel and so on. It's wickedness.
Most definitely, but I just want to make it clear that they assume that once you are not knocking glass with them, and once you're not cutting deals under the table and behind closed door with them, then you are not a part of their bracket and you belong to someone else, and that's when you are given when you are axed, basically. And I want to make it clear. Innocent people who do not want to be a part of that level of corruption get axed, not because of political affiliation, but just because they don't want to be a part of that system. So let me just put that out there.
Yeah. So while we on that front, Doctor, retired GDF officer held in diamond bond larceny matter, and we know that initially they said that an employee from the Ministry of Health was held. He had a lot of money in his car. He had a gun and ammunition in his car, and the police at that time, they were probing a simple larceny issue at the drug bond there in Diamond, when himself and some others were held. Well, the net seemed to have widened. Now a doctor, retired GDF officer, they are also being probed as part of this matter here.
Well, when I look at the story, one of the things... when I look at the story, one of the things that I keep thinking to myself is that when you see these type of corruption being taken place altogether, when you see it, 90-something% of the time, you do not actually, the person that is in charge, the actual brain behind the operation is never the one that is pinpointed.
The intellectual architect.
So a lot of times, a lot of the middle and lower men that get themselves caught up are the ones that face jail time and all of these things. I don't know the details, but when I'm looking at it, I knew from the very beginning that the employee that was arrested wasn't just the person involved and doing everything. So now that the net is widening and other persons are being pulled in, I am waiting to see when the person, the mastermind, is actually pulled in and say, well, yes, this leads back to you.
Yeah. And again, what is strange in this situation here, Twitter, nobody has been named.
Of course not.
Right? The guy who was arrested with all this money found in him and all of that, and the gun and ammunition, he has not been named by the media.
Yeah. He will not.
Quite interesting. They're protecting him.
The people only like to call names.
Protecting him.
If they think it's something that they would benefit from calling person's name. I mean, and I would go to the point that there was an issue back in 2017 that we examined at the PAC, and it was Bishop Ejel that was out there basically wanting the forced person's name to be called, persons that were investigated by the police and they were cleared. He still wanted to call their name and make it public, But now this situation is happening here. I don't see him so excited about calling.
No names, no warrants, no names, no warrants. But just before we head out of the morning trend, we wanted to bring you an update on this issue with the young lady, the 18-year-old, who was feared had been abducted, and who was later found alive and well on the seawalls here in Georgetown. This story had another twist to it.
Well, there was a lot of twists to this story, back and forth, and I want to pick up this piece of information off of Travis Chase, because he had a more detailed account of what transpired, and basically it was saying here on Travis Chase, on his page, after the young woman had given a statement, she stated that about 5 years now she recognized that she has been suffering from depression, and she would normally self-inflict wounds on her body, and all that is happening there is a very sad state altogether. I didn't hear you there just now.
Sorry, right there. Right there. It's very sad indeed. Very, very sad.
Very sad indeed. But
there's a scream for help here.
there is a scream for help, and I want to say at this point in time that I know that this information is coming out here from the police, you know. And as this information come out, what I can say is that my first question is who actually evaluated this young woman to clear her to actually give a statement, if any medical psychologist was even involved in the process, and if the statement that she was given was actually something that she was cleared to do, because if the account that is being reported here is true, then she may not be in a stable state to actually give police statements and all of these things. And instead of being at the police station, she should rather be at the hospital seeking medical attention and evaluation altogether. So again, my thoughts and prayers are with this young woman and her family as they sort the situation out.
Yep, a real shout for help here. We hope that the authorities can give her, make the kinds of intervention that are needed, because here she's talking about just a history of depression, to the point where she self-harms, she cuts herself and all of that. And she was saying that this was in the frame of mind she was in. She needed some time just to free her head. I think that's what the report said. And that's why she asked her friend if she could stay at her place or his place for a little while. And that was agreed upon. And that's where she was.
Well, I just want to remind persons that it wasn't. It was very recently that we had a situation, a young woman that shot herself at the Breakdown police station there, and again, someone else that was suffering from a different level of depression. And sometimes these things are a little bit taboo when you talk about it in Guyana, and I think that these two situations would bring it to us that we need to be more serious about it, and these things are very serious, and a lot of persons are suffering in silence because they're afraid to even go out and speak about it because it's a taboo matter. And once you go out and you say, oh, I'm having serious thoughts about self-harm and all these things, people just brush it aside. Well, and you know, in more developed countries, I think there's a pill for everything and everyone. There's psychologists or persons to speak to and all of this, so we have a long way to go, but we encourage persons to lend support to people that are having these issues and make sure that we are the strength which they need, instead of being persons just condemn and critique and be a part of that taboo set of persons. We need to progress as a people to know that these are real issues affecting any and everybody. It doesn't have distinction. The mind is a very complex piece of your body, and once your mind is not where it's supposed to be, then lend support. That's all I have to say about that.
Yep. That brings us very quickly, as we march down to program time, to our person of interest this morning. Our person of interest. And who's that person, Rita?
Well, as we are looking at the person of interest, I just want to make the note that this person of interest, we're repeating a person of interest that we started on yesterday, but we didn't get a chance to actually conclude on it. But no other than Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, and she is she is so. Listen, I have been doing my homework on this young woman. She is one of the most amazing person, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and she is none other than the Biden's nomination for the Supreme Court here in the U.S.
Quite an accomplished young lady. Well,
when it speaks about her qualifications, I know persons have been making note of the fact that she is so well qualified. You know that it almost seems like a no-brainer for her to be placed in that seat. And then I noted a lot of comments on the introduction that was given when she was taking the questions from the Senate. The introduction that she was given by one of her dear friends, and you know, it is always good for me to see that when you see persons of such stature, it's not just they didn't come and become that person overnight, but they went through the ranks. And her friend and colleague was basically saying that she went through the ranks. This was her college roommate, and this is how they developed this friendship, because she was always this tower of strength and she was always giving guidance and all of these things. So, you know, congratulations to her. And when I saw it, one thing I thought about is that even when, as parents, when we're raising our own children, you don't know who you're raising. The next is judge, the next Supreme Court judge you can be raising out there. It's just a matter of how you treat your children, the values that you instill in them, and how you guide them along that path. So quite an amazing woman altogether.
Respect and manners to the judge. Respect and manners. And, you know, I heard it said that as long as the Democrats hold,
Yeah.
right, in the, I think it's between the Senate and the House, her nomination is all but confirmed.
Yes.
All but confirmed. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to making that bit of history there, watching it being made in the U.S. And we are now, well, we're now at the big issue, and we've been talking about it when we
Yes.
spoke about the gas prices and all of that, and what's happening in Trinidad and Barbados. But the high cost of living crisis that is rocking Guyana, the trickle-down economics continue. We saw that yesterday.
We
right?
spoke about it.
we saw the announcement of the trickle-down economics, but it hasn't taken root yet in the gas stations.
Okay, what I can say about that particularly, yesterday on the podcast, folks, you have to join the podcast. You have to join all the shows to get all the information.
And we're bringing you more information right now
Yes.
about this cost of living crisis that we are facing.
Correct. Now, yesterday on the podcast, one of the things that we were speaking about is the fact that the government does not seem to be interested in putting any policy measure in place that is going to be directly impacting the consumers, the masses altogether. And one of the things that I mentioned is that if they're to put any policy in place, it's going to be one that is going to follow their same trickle-down economics policy framework that they've been utilizing. And there you had, before the day was out, you had the announcement about the excess tax on fuel going to 0% from 10% to 0%. And when I read it, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Here we go again.
Trickle-down economics.
With the trickle-down economics. And then the headlines in the newspaper is going to read, but I think it's already reading, that government hopes that the consumers are going to be benefiting from this policy measure that they have put in place.
Yeah.
Do not put policy measures in place that you have to hope that the citizens benefit from, because it does not work. And I just want to make the point that when it was reduced by the 10%, even at the last budget announcement, the consumers are yet to feel that difference, So it's not the case as though they never tried it. They know it was tried and tested and it failed.
Yeah.
And yet they come and they do it again, because the people that are going to be benefiting are the importers of the fuel. Those are the persons that are going to be benefiting. But will they translate that to the numbers that you and the figure that you are paying at a pump station? It didn't happen then. What begs the question of why it begs the question rather of why they will seek to impose that same regulation right now as opposed to doing other things.
It's interesting. It's very interesting because, again, as we articulated earlier on the program, the announcement was made yesterday that the excise tax has been reduced to 0, but that hasn't been passed to the consumers yet, because we checked out the checks that we did of the gas station this morning. The prices were still the same.
Well, that's my point. Is it did not change when it was reduced prior to that. It did not change then either. So what makes it different now? Now that prices are up all over, what incentive are you giving to these persons to lower the price so that the consumers actually feel that difference? It did not translate back then, and I don't see it translating now. I don't see any effort being made. You cannot go and continue into 2022 with trickle-down economic concepts, because it doesn't work. You are a producer, I am a consumer. The government says that they're going to take off the tax and they're going to put it at 0. What incentive do you have to give me a lower price when I go to pay for fuel? Do you keep the money and the excesses for profits for yourself?
Sounds more like
or do you give me the benefit of having some savings to myself?
Sounds more like it. The folks are going to keep the money.
Let's be practical.
The folks are going to keep the money.
It.
The folks are going to keep the money. Right?
Yeah.
But we're going to continue to follow these issues. And as we said, you get into a gas station, snap that photo of the price for gas there, send it to us on our WhatsApp number 627-6963. And we're a long way off of getting out of this, the high cost of living crisis that we're in. And we're going to continue to keep you guys posted on this. As we get details, we'll bring it to you guys.
I want to add to that, because I am pulling up one of the things that was announced on one of the things that Irfan Ali had on his page as the methods that they have been using to tackle the rising cost of living, right? So it
The
said,
big issue.
yes, it was saying that the PPP government has responded to the rising cost of living. The PPP government has responded to the rising cost of living by having these 19 measures in play. And one of the things that they actually had, and I'm just looking here at it's number 4 that they highlighted, was that freight costs restricted to pre-COVID level to keep import prices down. And this is something that I spoke about extensively, because I said again, this method is
Thanks, guys.
Sharon, you're distracted.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I was saying that this particular measure is another measure that is looking at trickle-down economics. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Irvin Ali himself that was asking these importers to respond and actually begging them so that consumers would feel the difference, because there they went out. Big announcement at that point in time that the freight costs would be restricted to the pre-COVID level to keep the import prices down. And what happened? The inflation continued to climb in our country.
That makes no sense to the average person, because I don't go home and tell my child, "Oh, the freight costs come down. You know, we get bread tomorrow, boy. We get bread tomorrow. You know, the freight costs come down."
Persons, because the measures altogether benefits this little gang of people
and it's trickling down
at the top of everything. And I keep saying that that's the only people that benefit. When you take when they lower the freight costs, the import costs, basically, for persons importing goods. In Guyana, we are consumers. We consume so many goods that are imported as opposed to what we have locally, because we're not so much of a producer of the majority of the items that we consume. So when you say the freight, the import costs, the cost that they're paying to import these goods, that they put it to the pre-COVID level. Basically, they were saying that COVID was the price that it was attracting, the increase that it was attracting because of COVID. Well, they basically took it back. And everyone spoke about it. They said, well, that is not a direct way that you tackle the cost that consumers, the increased costs that you are paying, because it's a hope that it's going to trickle down, and never trickles down.
Because, as a matter of fact, on this list that you're going through and that we went through in our other programs, they're hoping, for instance, that some of the measures they instituted or said they instituted a year and a half ago is going to help this period. And people say, "Oh, what? You can't even remember that X was done or Y was done." And what we have been saying, one of the things they keep touting and mouthing is that they have reduced, they have taken off or killed 200 taxes.
Well,
and we asked them to produce the list of the 200 taxes.
List them. List the 200
Come on,
taxes.
PPP, put out there the list.
List it, because I think for too long they have been allowed to go on with that bit of propaganda. They have removed 200 taxes. List them.
No longer.
List them.
List them.
All right.
List them.
So let's go through all of those. List them.
Yes, list the list of 200 taxes that you guys withdrew.
Taxes.
It's over 200. At least we can start with 200.
Yeah.
We can list the 200 taxes.
We can take the rest after.
Yes, let's start there, the base. List the 200 taxes that you withdrew.
Yep, that's the big question.
We challenge you.
But again, guys, the points that we're making this morning is we reinforcing this morning that exactly what we predicted during the podcast yesterday, Midday, that the only thing that they will be interested in is actually putting policy measures that is going to be following the trickle-down concept and structure that they've been using, one that has been failing, one that does not benefit the ordinary man and woman going to the store, the ordinary man and woman pulling up at the pump station to pay for gas. And after that discussion, they went and they did exactly what we said that they would have done. They went out there and they put a policy measure in place that the only way that persons will benefit is if trickle-down economics would work. And we know that based on history, based on everything that has been transpiring, you are not going to be feeling that difference at the pump stations as you would have expected to. But we still have some hope. We're surprise us.
I'm very happy you said it was said on our podcast yesterday, and then the people scattered to do something.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is join the podcast today at 12 o'clock.
Most definitely.
Right? And let me talk the things. That being said, guys, Anything else to be said? That being said.
Well, that's all that we're gonna go into this morning. A lot more. We're gonna be following the price of the fuel prices as the days progress. To make
Yes,
sure
we
that
are.
We see how
We got.
that
Send
goes
us those
forward.
photographs. You put it in the gas station. Take a quick photograph of the gas prices. Send it to us. We'd love to see what's happening in Guyana, the various gas stations.
Yes. Yes, Sandra's asking me if I'm feeling okay today. Yes, Sandra, I'm feeling okay.
She feeling the feeling?
I'm feeling okay-ish.
Desiree Manuel, good to see you. Naomi Drucker, Basil, Carmilla, Terry Ann Grenville, Glenford Gordon. Good to see each and every one of you guys. We invite you guys to share the broadcast. Share. Share the live stream. Share,
Yeah,
and
that's
smash.
much better. That's much better.
Smash the emoji button. Share, and smash that emoji button for us, guys. And importantly as well, come back and partner with us. We need your support to get our responsibilities here met. It takes something to keep the internet on, keep the lights on, to keep the doors open, to keep the staff in place. That helps us to put this all together for your benefit. So partner with us. Partner with us, folks.
I didn't see that one coming.
Partner with us. We're available on Cash App. It's $, in the ring 592. That's we handle. We're available via MoneyGram, via Western Union. Good. We're also available via Zelle and PayPal. One email address for both Zelle and PayPal.
You know how easy it would have been if Facebook had this app to just transfer using the Facebook? My gosh. What's up, Zuckerberg?
Believe it or not, there's Facebook Pay.
There is?
There's Facebook Pay.
Come
But it doesn't
on.
work here. It doesn't work in this
Damn.
hemisphere.
Damn.
They've already thought about it.
Damn.
So while we get on Facebook Pay, we also have Zelle and PayPal. And it's one email address, in the ring 592 at gmail.com. And we got MMG as well.
Yes.
Our MMG number is also our WhatsApp number. And so if you need any guidance, you can WhatsApp us, MMG us, 627-6963.
Yes.
627-6963. MMG us.
So, you were at Muses and looking forward to this midday. So, most definitely.
We'll be there. Thanks for joining us. That's your time.
Have a good day, guys.